So my name is Jacob Garza, and I am co-founder of REEP Equity. REEP Residential goes back a decade now. We came to San Antonio in 2012, and we bought our first apartment complex. Originally out of Dallas, where I was a software entrepreneur, and Arlene was in banking, corporate banking. One of the things I truly enjoy about my role here at REEP Equity and REEP Residential is putting our company in a position to win. I always like to say, if you have a good environment and the environment is comfortable for victory to take place, well, then that makes it much more easier for the business plan to be executed. And for me, it's all about the employees. So if our company buys right, they'll have a much better opportunity to operate the property and be very successful. Let me start by saying there are many great property management companies that are out there. And I'm hoping REEP is included in one of those. One of the things that makes us unique is our culture. We have a fantastic team who come to work every day, and I think what makes us special is they are engaged in what we're trying to do. They come in and they understand their role is part of a much larger role. And when they see the different teams throughout the organization winning, it makes the entire team win. And that's really, really tough to compete against, if you would, if you're on a different team. And I think that's what makes us very, very unique in this business. Another thing that makes us extremely unique is we are owner managed. REEP Equity wholly owns REEP Residential. And I think what's the important there is when we go out and acquire properties through our acquisition team, it is handed off to our management team, and our management team is completely aware of what we're trying to do for the business plan. They're aware very early in the process. And to me, when you show up on a property the first day, if you don't know much about what the plan is or what they're trying to do to the property, that's just kind of like running around lost. And what we're able to do is we're able to get this business plan 8 weeks ahead of time, and they are trained at our sister properties. So when we come in, we hit the ground running, and it's extremely important that our staff members have this momentum. We talk about momentum, and that really helps us execute the business plan, and that makes your day go by much faster and executing your daily role. I've been saying for a while that it's the decade of the management company. And what do I mean by that? We are talking the people on staff, the people with the management company, are so strategic to investors who invest in apartment communities. Long gone are the days where you could buy an apartment complex, come back 2 years later, and the value has increased just by appreciation and the market-driven principles. Today it's much more competitive, and prices are basically much higher. So it's more difficult, if you would, to drive your business plan. That's why we invest in each and every one of our employees at our management company, because they are so strategic in nurturing and driving our business plan on our properties. And the advantage we have is because we're owner managed, there's no loss of translation of the business plan. When our acquisition team goes 10 weeks, 16 weeks before they even step on site, they understand there is a reason the property is selling. They understand there's a business plan that it ultimately fits and why we buy it. We are strategic in driving that message and communicating that message with our employees on site. And I can tell you of so many instances where I've been on property the day of, 2 weeks later, 2 months later, 6 months later, and these employees are so happy and they are so proud of what they've done. Because when you know what you're doing and it's communicated to you, you can go do it. And that's what makes me very proud of our REEP staff and how they are contributing to the success of the growth of our properties and the growth of our investments for our investors. REEP today is much different than it was 5 years ago. What I can tell you, in the next 5 years, we're going to be even a better REEP.